Hi everyone, you're welcome back. My name is Mercy. Today we'll be learning how to draft an hourglass corset, also known as overbust Victorian corset. So today guys, we'll be learning how to draft and cut it. It's going to be a beginners friendly, so we'll be learning how to draft and also cut it. If you're interested in this tutorial, just keep watching, okay? And don't forget to share and also subscribe so that we help us to build the community. All right, so let's get into the drafting now guys. I am using my pattern paper to mark my shoulder divide by 2, which is 8. I'm going to mark. I'll place my tape in a vertical line to mark my shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, and our shoulder to waist. Then to get the half length, that is sorry, the full length of this blouse, I will add my paper again because the one I have is not enough. Now I am having the total length of 23 inches. So the full length of this blouse is going to be 23 inches. Now I'm going to mark all the the horizontal line across. Before marking that, I will mark my armhole, get my chest line. You know how, if you're following me, if you have been following me for long, the way I normally get my chest line is to on the bust line I'll go up by 2 inches to get my chest line. That is what I'm marking right now. Now after marking it, I am going to curve out my armhole like so. So this armhole is not going to be our main armhole. That is why I'm using a pencil to mark it. So I'll be marking our basic neckline 3 by 3 inches, which is not going to be useful. I'm just marking it for us to understand everything. Then get my shoulder slant. Now after getting everything, I will use my ruler to rule out all the horizontal line. You can see, for it to be very visible, I'll mark chest line, bust, under bust, waist, and the hip, which is the full length of the blouse. Now, so what that is what I'm talking about. This armhole, I'm not going to be using a marker to mark it. It's going to be like that until I create another armhole. Now I'm going to mark on the bust. I'll mark 4 inches on the bust line, and coming to the full length of the blouse, I will mark 2 inches. I just want the dart line to be slanty, like the dart line is not going to be straight. Okay, so from the 2 inches I mark on the down part, I'm going to connect it straight up to meet the 4 inches. That is my bust point, the nipple to nipple. That's what I mark on the bust point. I'm just connecting everything from the down up to the chest line, to the bust line. Now after getting that, I am going to divide my shoulder by 2. The remaining one that is there, I'll divide it by 2 and mark, then connect the remaining line from the bust point to meet the shoulder where I divided it into 2. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is to put all my measurements. On the bust, I'll divide my bust by 4, like the way we normally divide, and I'm going to go ahead and mark with my pencil. Under bust, the same thing. Then when I come to the waistline, which is the half length, the waistline, I am snatching this waist. I'm going to be deducting 3 inches from my waist measurement. Okay, but before I do that, I will mark my normal waist measurement here. So if you don't know how to snatch a waist, just pay attention on the waist. When we come to that, I just mark my normal waist measurement on the waist line. We are still going to come back to snatch the waist. This is how, if you want to snatch your waist, you are going to use your dart to snatch your waist. If you are still finding it confusing on how to snatch waist, this is how you are going to do it, but we are still coming back. Then on the hemming part, I will put my hip divide by 4 and mark. I have not added allowance. Now pay attention on the waistline. I remove 3 inches from my waist measurement. I am going to be removing, sorry, 3 inches from my waist measurement. Now here on this part I'll mark 1 inch, and on this center part I'm going to mark 1 inch, making how many inches? 2 inches. So I'll still mark 1 inch on the under bust, mark 1 inch on this side as well. So I have 1 inch on this part and 1 inch on the other part. I connect it to the under bust, the two side. Then coming to this down part, I am going to be marking half inch on the both side, making 1 inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it. Like I said before, I don't want my that leg to be straight up. I wanted it to be slanty. Okay, if you like, you can go ahead and make your own straight. It's optional. So now I have removed 2 inches from my waist measurement. I just removed 2 inches from my waist measurement, remaining 1 inch. Remember that I wanted want to remove 3 inches. Now before I go ahead and remove another one, I'm going to curve out, placing my tape from the bust point, connecting to the 1 inch I mark on the under bust. I will also curve it out like so on the two side. I use my marker to mark it and also curve out the other side. I just wanted to create a bust over there. I'm just marking the half inch there, and I'm using my marker to rule it out for it to be very clear. So you can see how that leg is going, slanty shape. Now guys, that back to our waist, I am still snatching it. I have removed 2 inches, 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side, remaining how many inches? 1 inch, to make it 3 inches. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'll leave that waist for now. I will come down from the bust point to mark my back half length, 1 inch. I want to make a bust that, so the bust that is different from your back half length and your front half length. My front half length is 16 while the back is 15, so I just come back down with 1 inch on the bust and connect it like so. Now I am marking my over bust. You know that the neckline is over the bust, so I just go up with 2 inches from the chest line to mark the over bust. From the chest line I went up with 2 inches, so I'll be using my pencil to mark out the over bust like so. So you can see the way I connected the bust dart. Now I'm going to be closing this bust dart. I'm going to be closing it, but before I do that, I will slash my shoulder that I divided into two like so. I'll just slash it open. I'll slash it to meet to the bust point. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop. For me to be able to close our bust dart, I wanted to curve out a very beautiful curve, very beautiful bust shape. So for me to do that, I'm going to fold my paper like so and close the 1 inch that I came down from the bust. That is the bust dart. I'll close it like so. After closing it, I'll use my tape to hold it just for now. Now after closing it, this opening that is on the shoulder, I am going to go ahead and measure it. So I'll measure this opening that is on the shoulder. I will measure it out like so. Whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into two. Okay, so now I have about 3 inches there. I'm going to divide it into two. Is going to be 1.5. So from this armhole that I marked that is fainted on the shoulder, I'm going to go out and mark 1.5 on that shoulder. So that will be our new shoulder, the original shoulder. Okay, so after marking that 1.5 inches, I will be opening the bust dart again, making it to relax, and I'm going to go ahead and rule out our new shoulder, which is the main one. I'll curve it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark the shoulder slant. Then to tighten up the shoulder, I am on this other side of the shoulder. This side I'm going to mark 1.5 inches there, and mark this side as well, 1.5 inches. From the place that I slash this shoulder open, I'll mark 1.5 inches, then mark 1.5 inches. I'll connect it straight up to meet the bust point, like so. I'll also connect this side to meet the bust point. So now you can see that our center bust is now having shape, looking very beautiful. So guys, I am adding an allowance to this measurement. I'll just on the dart leg on the waist, I'll place my tape like so to measure out what I have here, like so. Then I'll bring it out to meet the other dart leg to get my proper measurement. Okay, I'll just mark. I am marking I am marking the waist and the under bust measurement. I'll bring out what I have on this side to this side, and I'll measure it properly. So the place I am marking right now will be same thing goes to the full length of this blouse. I will mark, then bringing my tape across the dart leg, measuring it very well. I don't know if you understand what I am saying. So now I am marking with my connecting all the um lines with my marker. This is the normal um measurement for this blouse. I added 1.5 inches for the same allowance. So this place on this waistline, remember that we still have 1 inch to snatch. Now I am dividing on the remaining measurement on this waistline. On this place I place my taper. I will get whatever that I have there and divide it by 2, excluding the 1.5 inches allowance. I will divide whatever I have on that side. I remove the 1.5 inches allowance and mark it on the center, like whatever that I have on the measurement, that I'll divide it by 2, then mark half inch on this both side and mark half inch on the other side, making 1 inch. I'll connect it to meet the bust point and take it down. On the down part I mark half inch. So I'm just using my ruler, connecting all the dart leg in a slanty way. So the 1 inch that I am snatching is now out. I have snatched 3 inches. Like my waist measurement is 32, I removed 3 inches from its remaining 29. So I just snatched 3 inches from the waist measurement. What I have on this that leg is 3 inches. So this particular one I'm drawing right now is half inches. I took half inch on the both side, connecting it down to the hemming point, and taking it up to the chest line. Sorry, to the bust point. Please don't make your own to be too curvy or that leg to be too like curvy, just in a slanty way. Mine is a little bit too curvy, but while drafting your own, don't make it too curvy. Now I am going to be determining the my neckline. So I'll mark, it's going to be 8 inches, but I am marking 7.5 inches. After curving it out, it's going to be 8 inches. Now on the armhole, I am coming down with by 4 inches. After curving it out, sorry, I'm coming down by 4.5 inches. After curving it down, it's going to be 4 inches. Now I have slashed my bust dart open. I am folding the allowance and closing the bust dart before I curve out my neckline. I want to close my bust dart like so. Then fold in this allowance that is on the shoulder like so. I'll fold this side in and fold the other side in again. I think I'll be closing this bust dart permanently, so I'll be using my glue to close it. I'm just removing the gum and using my glue. Sorry, I'll just pin it up. Later on, I'll use my glue to secure it. For now, I'm using my pin to secure it. After drafting, I'm going to go ahead use my glue to secure it. Now remember, on the armhole I came down with 4 inches, so I'm placing my pattern ruler like so. I just want to carve out a U-shaped neckline. I am placing this ruler on the 4.5 inches I came down, but it's not up to that 4.5 inches. So it's on the 4 inches on the armhole. Then coming to this center line, the place I mark on the neckline, I came down with 7.5 inches. So that is what I am just using my ruler to curve out. It's going to be in a U shape. Remember, this paper is not on fold. After curving this out, while cutting it on the fabric, I will open it up and it is going to be looking like U shape. Now, when after folding the bust dart, you are going to experience a little shift from the measurement. So that is what I just connect, mark out, so for it to be equal. All right. This particular place I'm shading right now is going to be the place I'm going to be cutting out. After curving out the neckline, I just opened all the paper that I folded in, all the allowance that I folded in. The next thing for me to do right now is to go ahead and cut. But before I do that, I will label number 1, number 2, and number 3. Remember, it's not on fold. Had it been on fold, it's going to be into 6 pieces, into 6 parts. Okay, but why I am adding, when I'm sewing it, I will be folding my fabric, cutting it out, putting all the boning. You are going to see that it's going to be more than 6 pieces. So this is how I cut it out. So guys, this is just how beautiful the front is looking. I'm going to head to the back pattern. The back is very simple. I have gone ahead to draft the basic back body, and I have add my chest line, bust point, waist, and the length of this. You can see everything that I have drafted out. On this dart leg, I have my nipple to nipple divide by 2 4. I just draft it out. Then coming to the waistline, I just did our normal dart intake. half inch on the both side. That is 1 inch, half inch on the both side. This tutorial is going to be the pattern and the cutting. So I am going to be uploading the sewing tutorial after this. So like I said, on the waistline I mark 1 inch on the both side, sorry, 1 inch on the dart leg, half inch on the both side. After doing that, I am going to input all the measurements, marking my bust divide by 4, adding my seam allowance, then my waist divide by 4. I'll measure placing my tape on this dart leg to measure what I have. Then I'll bringing it to this other side. Remember, I snatch this back waistline. I am not dividing anything, I just snatch it. Then I'll measure on the hip line. I'll put my hip measurements, divide by 4 plus seam allowance. So I just, on this waistline, I just put my normal sorry, what I snatched, like 29 divided by 4 is going to be 7.3 inches. So that is what I added on this waist line. But I wanted to create another dart leg. So I'll measure what I have on the waistline from this center part here, like so. This side part, I'll measure and divide it by 2. I'll just connect with my ruler. After connecting with my ruler, I'll be taking half inch on the waistline. Remember, this is not, I have shortened my waist measurement here. So I just took out 1 inch on this waist measurement. So I'm going to be replacing it back. So I'll connect it to meet the bust point and to meet the down part. So whatever I remove here, it's 1 inch. I am replacing it back on this side part. I'm marking 1 inch there. I'll just connect it up and bringing it down to meet the hemming part. And that will be all for this back. Now to get my neckline, I'll just come down with by 7 inches. But before I do that, I'll mark 1.2 inches for my lacing. I am marking out 1.2 inches. I don't want the back to be too open. I'm just removing 1.2 inches. You can remove 2 inches, you can remove 1.5 inches, depending how open you want your lacing back to be. So I'll just mark it like so. This particular place right now will be where my lacing is going to be relaxing. So that is where my lacing is going to be relaxing. Okay, now I am bringing down my neckline with neck depth of 7.5 inches. I'll just mark my neckline 7.5 inches. I'll just connect it across. Then I'll use my French curve to just mark it like this. I don't want it to be too curvy because the front alone has a curvy part. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. So guys, this will be the end of this tutorial. I'll be uploading the sewing part very soon. Then I'm going to go ahead and shade out all the place I'm going to be cutting out like so. And after shading, it's going to be the cutting part. Now you can see that the back dart leg is very straight. It's not the same thing with the front. The front is slanty while the dart back leg is straight. I just make my straight. Now this is how my back neckline will be looking like. I will label number 1, number 2, number 3. To avoid confusion, I will label the center one, the side one. Sorry, I will label back. Then the CB is center back, while the SB is side back. Thank you for watching and see you on the next tutorial. Bye for now.